Good morning from the county of Ynys Môn in Wales. I'm by the town of Porthaethwy. I'm just going to make my way to this little island that's in front of us here. We're just by Afon Menai here, also known as the Menai Straits. It's the narrow band of water that separates the county of Gwynedd and the county of Ynys Môn. There's a 15th century church on the island, and the whole island is pretty much covered by the churchyard. I'll just go for a walk along here first. If there's anybody from Belgium watching, this promenade was originally built by Belgian refugees who stayed in this area during World War I. And they built it to thank the community. When they actually arrived here, they were greeted by a guard of honour on the Menai Bridge, and the national anthem of Belgium was played. The remains of HMS Conway can be seen here when the tide is out. It's a little bit too high at the moment. HMS Conway was an old navy ship dating back to the 1800s. It had been docked in Birkenhead for about 65 years. When World War II broke out, they decided to move it from Birkenhead to avoid it being bombed. The ship was originally moved to Bangor, but in 1949 it was moved again. This was a big mistake, as the ship's bottom became dangerously close to the seabed on more than one occasion. 4 years later, in 1953, the ship needed to be refitted in Birkenhead. Local experts advised against the move. The ship became stuck on flat rocks near the Menai Bridge. Attempts to move the ship again at high tide caused severe damage to the ship, and it had to be abandoned. Later on, the ship was destroyed by a fire. The church was built in the 15th century, although they believe that there was an earlier church on the same spot. It looks like they've used every nook and cranny of the island for the graveyard. Charlotte MacIver died 7th of March 1950. Sir Charles MacIver died 21st of December 1935. Sacred to the memory of Elizabeth Jones, who died November 9th, 1864, aged 76. Also her granddaughter Jane Elizabeth Keane, who died in London February 22nd, 1855, aged 22. It looks like there's an extremely old door on the church. It must date back hundreds of years. The graveyard seems to cover pretty much all of the island. On top of this little hill now, there's a war grave over here. '615 Corporal A.W. Connington Australian Flying Corps, 25th of October 1918, aged 23, the dearly loved son of Mr. and Mrs. W.J. Connington of Goulburn, New South Wales. Got a giant war memorial on top of the hill. Seems to be for local lads who were killed during the First World War, but they've since added the names of local people who died during the Second World War down at the bottom here.